ladies and gentlemen, we are live, Facebook Live today. We have from the lovely state of California, Anaheim Hills office, Mckenzie Yamazaki. Welcome to the show. Okay.
Good morning. Thank
You
you so
can't
much
see them,
for having
Mckenzie, but
me.
the studio audience loves you.
I love it.
All right, cool. Well, tell us a little about yourself, all that good stuff. So everybody, I mean, you've done a podcast with me before, but this is a whole different group. So tell them about yourself, how long you've been doing this wonderful
Okay,
thing called real estate.
awesome. So I started in 2018. I am going on a little over 8 years now. So I just renewed my license for the second time. Um, I feel like the second time came quicker than the first time. So that was cool. My first year in real estate, I was rookie of the year. So that was nice. It gave me, a strong push. But since then, I am really happy to say that I've grown a really consistent referral based business. So that's where all my business comes from at the moment.
Awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
nope, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, and I've seen you do that. I remember when you got Rookie of the Year at the lovely Nixon Library, which we had it again this year there, right? You couldn't go
Yes.
this year to get your award because you were an award winner because I think your son was sick, right?
My husband was out of town and my kids were at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So, damn husband, tell him to stick around once in a while, will you?
I know. I know.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. So, so tell us a little about that journey. Like, you mentioned now that can rely pretty much on your sphere and so forth, but you had to get to that point. What was involved? Because I know you've done other forms of prospecting and marketing and so forth.
So in 2018, I was mainly just my sphere of influence is kind of where everything came from, and then since then it's grown. It's grown a lot. I do get a lot more referrals. I am a mom of three, so I network a lot. I'm on the PTA, my kids are in sports, so I'm constantly on the field meeting other parents, other moms, and a lot of my business is starting to come from a whole new sphere that I didn't have, eight
Mm.
years ago, which is cool. I am pushing myself. So this was my first year on PTA. So a lot of people at the school know me now, which is really, really nice. I'm on the campus a lot. Teachers know me, the principal. And so I'm starting to build more of a rapport there. This is my kid's first year at that school. So I wanted to come in and help them get comfortable. I wasn't intending for it to affect my business, but it has positively affected that. So that's also really cool.
That's
And
always a
then
bonus, right?
it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, I did it really just to be on the campus to help them feel comfortable, and to just be a part of, all the different activities, and we go to every single activity that's offered there. My daughter just made the track team. So I'm trying really hard to fully immerse them, and so far it's been really good, and I'm going to end up getting business out of it, which is really nice too.
Well, that's awesome. And give an idea, because there are other moms out there too. Give an idea of the age, like your oldest to your youngest. What is that age gap?
So my oldest is 17, my middle is 10, almost 11, and then my youngest is 4, almost 5. So they'll be 11 and 5 in July.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
you've got a lot going on. You got
Yeah.
teenager, you got
Yes.
wow. So how do with having those three children and your husband traveling and doing his job, how do you maintain your business and also be involved as much as you are?
So this year is the first year that it's working out the best. Part of that is that all three of my kids are now in school. My littlest isn't in school full time. It's just 4 hours a day, but even that 4 hours is such a game changer for me. It's really massive. So I stopped working inside my house. That was a big part of it because I would, get up and grab a cup of coffee and then see the dishes, do the dishes, and then go sit back down and, work. And so now I'm working in an office. I have nothing to do but sit at my computer. And I have found that I would call that time blocking. I'm intentional about my day and my business, and I'm not going back and forth to my computer and like my day-to-day things. So from the time that my kids go to school until the time that I pick them up, I sit in this office and work at my computer the whole time. Or if I have like a meeting or showing or something like that, I schedule those during that time. So I would say
That's
time
great.
blocking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think moms are probably the best at time blocking. That's why I think some of the best real estate agents are moms because they've had the real job of being a mom, and then real estate it kind of just segues in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, I would agree. I think that it's a lot easier than you would anticipate, just because the day it just kind of flows. So I'm very, very grateful. I'm very blessed that it worked out. And my kids
Cool.
love my job. They think I have the coolest job because I don't miss anything.
Right. That's right. You can go to all the stuff, and that's the good thing about. And then you have some people that are you do it the right way, and I think working, doing your PTA and telling everybody who you are and what you do, and making that a source of business at the same time is awesome. And I think when they see how involved you are, it's a pretty easy choice, right? Just use Mckenzie. I mean, she's right here. We know her, so good. I love it.
I
And
actually just got a call last night from someone in the PTA at like 9 o'clock at night to like, she's like, can you help me with this? And I was like, I'm glad that at 9 o'clock at night, like I was the first realtor that came to your mind because I live in Corona and there's like a billion of us out here.
That's true. You got. I always joke. Every third person in California has a real estate license.
Yes.
There could be Mackenzie more real estate licenses than driver's licenses in California.
Oh my
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's my gross exaggeration. I was only kidding. All right. Well, okay. So you work in your sphere, and I know you did some farming and some other things to get to there, but now you've got it up to mostly sphere. Tell them about like your social media too, because you do a really good job there.
Yes. So that's another one of my goals this year. So I love social media and it's a love hate relationship, honestly. I get on and I used to do a lot of video. I do a lot of posts and I interact with friends and family on there and it's really fun. And then there's times where like I've fallen off. So right now I'm trying to just be really consistent because I notice that when I'm consistent, my business does I do get more business. So it's something that I think is so important. And it's not just posting. It's like I comment on other people's things or I like people's things. And sometimes like I'll even text someone like, oh my gosh, I just saw that picture. Like that's so awesome. Like just because it's even more personal than just commenting on their things. So I think that that's a really big part of it. And I would say it's probably bigger now than it was even 8 years ago. And it's something that I highly recommend. I just started a TikTok I think like maybe about a year ago. I did that selfishly for myself. I wanted to just post things that like I enjoyed. But I am putting my real estate on there as well. I'm intertwining it in because a lot of people are on TikTok and a lot of I think, younger generation is on TikTok and kind of coming away from Facebook and Instagram. So I would say I have different demographics that follow me on each platform. And I think they're all equally important.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree too. And you can tell you have fun doing it, and it's if you do it for the right reasons, like what you just said was so important. Like, of course you've got to post. Of course you have to have content on social media, but commenting on other people's stuff, showing interest in them, growing it. Like people ask me all the time, how do I grow my social media? Well, the first way is make sure everybody that's in your phone you're connected with on everything you have on social media, then your farm, and you can organically grow it while you're growing it because people are interested in your videos and stuff too, right? I mean, there's a couple ways you can do this.
Yeah. I find it easier when I go, so for example, I went to a lender networking event a few months ago and I met other agents that we don't work in the same areas, but at some point we might cross paths. And I could get their phone numbers, obviously, but the chances of me putting their face to the phone number and texting them and following up and remembering is I think lower than we all exchanged Instagrams and Facebooks. And now I'm like seeing them on a day to day. And I feel like we're like friends and we're connecting because I can see what they're doing in their life. And so from that lunch, like I've connected with probably 10 plus agents that I'm interacting with on a weekly basis now, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, that's great, and that's such a true thing too, because you're going to line up with a lot of people on social media because they have the same interests as you, or your kids go to the same school, or you live in the same area, or they just like you as a human being because of the things you say on there. So it's very important. Not everyone's going to love you, but that's just the way life is. You're going to have a certain amount of people that are going to want to come see your stuff and comment, and a certain amount of people that aren't. And I always say just keep adding the ones that like you and want to be, because who cares about the
Yep.
other people?
You can't please
Not everyone's gonna like
everyone.
you, huh?
Exactly. You can't please
Right.
everyone. That's why there's enough business for all of us. We're all somebody's
That's so
cup of
true.
tea.
That's so true. And you can't please everybody because it's just never going to happen. You'll drive yourself crazy trying.
Yeah, I think it takes away from the person, it being your personality or your brand. It's like
Yeah.
inauthentic.
Inauthentic is the word, right? And authentic is a definite word today. Vulnerability and being authentic, I think, is critically important on social media. And stop worrying about what people think of you. Just be yourself, right?
Yes. I post a lot of mom comment or content. I do a lot of like fun little parties and things for the kids, and that is kind of the group of people that follow me now is a lot of moms or grandmas, and they always comment on all the things that I do with the kids.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like I know your husband too because I see you and your weekends and your vacations, and I love that he smokes cigars because I do too. And so
Yep.
you get to know somebody and you know what you have in common, right? By just seeing, and it's really good. Look at when I started with social media, that's the one thing I really didn't like was you want me to show them my personal life, and I'm like,
I
I
was a
didn't
little
really.
weird about it too. It felt a little invasive because I am
Yeah.
semi like a well, I would say not really now, but at the time when I was getting on social media, I was a little bit more of a private person. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it forces you to kind of put things out there that you have to be comfortable with other people seeing, your
Right.
content.
Right. And obviously be smart if you're in real estate and you want to do business, you want to make sure that it's professional and all that
Yes.
stuff. I mean, the mom and the parenting and the all that kind of stuff is definitely a winner because you're going to have so many people out there that are in the same position in the same area of life of you that have a lot in common with you.
Yes. 100%.
All right, cool. All right, so my favorite question, what was coming, I'm sure, is so you're an agent in today's world and you want to bring your business to the next level, or even if you're a new agent and you want to come out of the gate hot, what are the three most important things you tell them to focus on?
I would say staying consistent online, being visible in person. So if I get invited to a party, if I can go, I go. If I get invited to a dinner, anything at all, I am always in front of people. I'm always with people. I would say being consistent with that and being consistent online, just making sure that you're visible, that your face is visible. My second one is, and I'm working on this right now, which I will ask you about in our coaching session, but I'm working on being more intentional about asking for referrals. I think in the beginning, I would just say, like, if you know any friends or family that are looking to buy or sell, like, I'd love to help them. And it's just not enough. So I'm trying to just be a little bit more intentional and direct about how I'm asking for referrals. And a big one that I'm really focused on right now is time blocking. I think that you have to treat your business like a business and don't just fit it into your life. You need to make it, uh, you have to be intentional with the time that you're giving to your business.
Right. I love it. I love it too. And do you think that, especially with you being a mom of, of a teenager plus middle to 10 and younger, do you think that that kind of goes with it? You love to get out and see people and talk to people, and so that's kind of a really good activity for when people who are parenting, especially with kids your age.
Yeah, I am. My kids are all in sports. They're all very active. They all do music and sports. And so I'm constantly around groups of people, like just different pockets and groups of people. So showing up is a big part of it. Obviously, I show up because of my kids, but it is helping get me business as well.
Good, good too. And I love the second one too. Don't be afraid to ask. And like, I always say who do you know in your family, in your church group that could use me? The other way, Mackenzie, is what you're doing is great, but think about social media. Somebody that okay, they see your stuff on their feed and then they follow you. So you're growing your social media by the content you put out by the people you have already in there, right? That's one of the ways it's growing. So you can
Yeah.
do the same thing. You can do the same thing with your sphere. You see somebody at the event. Hey, Sally. Hey, Dave. I know you're getting the neighborhood report from me and my newsletters. Do you know anybody else in your family or friends that neighborhood that would like to get that kind of information? I'd be happy to send it to them too. That's one way I always say grow your referral business is by people don't call it a sphere. You do because you're in sales, you know, but did get their sphere to be part of your sphere because you have that. Especially with you, with all the connections you have with school and PTA and your social media. I'm sure I've seen some of your stuff. You get a lot of comments, you get a lot of interaction. So I'm sure you could definitely organically grow it like that too,
Yes. Yes.
right? And then the time block. I mean, you said time blocking because that's one of the reasons why you stopped working in your house and moved out, into a private office on the same lot, of course, but it definitely is separate, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I think it's helped a tremendous amount, honestly. I'm getting so much more done. And it's really nice because my day used to be like I could see myself at 9 o'clock at night still answering emails. And now it's like I have all of that is already done before I even pick up the kids from school. Like I've just been able to um, just be really more intentional with my time and what I'm doing.
Mm. Yeah, and doesn't it just feel better too when you get all that done, and then now your
Mhm.
head is clearer for when you have your kids? Or I remember too when I had young kids. You really have to be efficient when you're on because you're on time. The younger your kids are, the less on time you have at work because you have other time that's more important. Your most important job is being a parent, and in your case, being a mother, of course.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree.
All right, cool.
Uh, I,
Anything else
I
you want to mention to these lovely people? Go ahead.
I have one more thing. I probably should have. I wanted to mention this. So
Okay.
it's kind of a newer piece of my business, as in the last 3 years. So I guess it's not super new, but I run a mastermind. It used to be Fridays. We've switched it to Mondays from 9 to 10. I am so proud of it. It used to just be for my office, and then we extended it to my office and like maybe another couple offices. I am now at 3 states and not just Berkshire Hathaway agents. So it's a mastermind where we all get together once a month on Zoom for an hour, and bring to the table just all of your ideas, things that are working, things that are not, what you're seeing out there. I have a topic every week. It's super fun because I'm hearing from agents in different states. I'm hearing from agents that aren't even in our company, and we're just all bouncing ideas off each other. And I've learned so much from it. So I would love, if anybody would like to join, we can email you the link, and it is every first Monday of the month from 9 to 10.
Go ahead, give it to them too. Is there an email address or is there a link they have to ask for?
I believe it's a link that you would have to get from me, but you can find me. My name is pretty unique, at least spelled, so you could find me on social media really quickly, and I can send the link.
You can see it right there too. And you're so humble. The reason you moved it from Friday to Monday is because you didn't want to steal all Jimmy Burgess's people so they can go see his and see yours. I know. I know.
I wanted
That was very
everyone to
nice.
enjoy
That was
both.
very nice of you. That was very nice of you to do that. Jimmy thanks you. No, he's a great guy. I love what he does too.
Yeah.
Aldo always has it on speaker so I can hear them all, and he does a great job. And we got. I mean, I was just at the convention too, and we got a lot of good stuff going on corporately between Chris Kelly, Jimmy Burgess, obviously Vince Lacey, and even and also Troy. So we have a really good connection here, and I was very happy at the at the convention this year, because the stuff they shared and the direction we're going, very awesome as a brand as well. So watch for those
Yeah.
tools, Mckenzie. They're coming out.
Perfect.
All right. So other than okay, and I was going to bring that up too. So I'm glad you did with the mastermind, because I've been on it a couple of times too, and you got a good turnout. A lot of people, excuse me, their interaction is great. They ask great questions. They interject. You know, you always have Ginny on there.
Yes.
Well, Ginny's on most of the time, but it's all good stuff. So, all right.
Yeah. The
Anything else you
engagement.
want to mention to these lovely people before we call it a morning?
Nope. I think that's good. I really appreciate you having me on.
Well, I appreciate you, taking your time out. I know you're busy. You got good stuff going on, and it was wonderful having you. And look at folks. Hey, the thing is that what I really like about what you're doing is you have 3 children. You're winning awards in real estate all the time. I would say some of the social media stuff you're doing is really good, and people want to check out your social media too. I would say especially your Instagram and TikTok, right? Because you're more of the Instagram TikTok age. I'm more of the
I
Facebook
am,
age.
but I am posting on Facebook. I have it set up. If I post on Instagram, automatically posts it to Facebook. But yes, I am a little bit more active on Instagram than I am Facebook.
Yeah, that's okay, because you're young, so you have that right. So you play to like when I was going to say play to your demographics. You hit it off with parents with kids your age. Of course, you're going to, right. So you might as well, like, I know, like, my kids tell me, my oldest is 29. My kids tell me, hey, Facebook is for old people, and I
But old
say,
people
yeah.
buy houses too.
That's right. And the old people have listings, and they have equity in property. So old people are okay too. And I don't consider
Yep.
myself old, but of course my kids do. All right. Well, you're the best, Mckenzie. Keep it rocking. Really appreciate you
Thank
taking your time
you.
out today. We'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Bye.